I've been thinking about this.
This nigga first time on here. Go ahead.
Nah, it's actually some shit that you said. And this was might have been like around like the first 2 or 3 episodes where you had a theory where what if like that light that you see at the end of the tunnel was like you being born again. Like once you proceed through that light and you so it's because
that shit is dope. That shit dope.
That is like you know how like shit be like, all right, that's outside of the realm of possibilities, but it technically could happen. I think that's closer. Like the more and more I think about it, I think that's closer to actually being like right.
Yeah.
Because
we don't know nothing else. It makes sense.
Nigga,
that's definitely a possibility.
That be the edibles talking. When I be saying shit like that.
Hey, we should do a whole podcast on edibles.
But not even though, because I ain't smoked since my baby got here, dog. I ain't smoked since last August and shit. And like, dog, that made a whole lot of sense. And it was like, damn, that's definitely in the realm of possibilities.
Because shit. Sometimes that shit don't even be making me like sleepy sometimes, like the edibles. And I just be up, and then sometimes I have like that real like light REM sleep where you just like dreaming and like conscious of the shit at the same time. So one time I had this theory when I was on edibles, and I was thinking like you know, like your grandparents, right? And then your grandparents, right? And then like after that, like who's to say like niggas been around that time? Like are we judging off of books? Ain't no like real like, you know, like real surefire history, you know, like internet
written in stone type shit.
Yeah. So like who's to say like this shit is not like just some type of like fucking ongoing cycle where we are living the same shit over and over and over and over again.
Reincarnation.
Not even like, yeah, it could be, yeah. The thing is,
some slight way of reincarnation anyway.
But I mean, essentially, that's what it is, though.
I don't know. When it comes down to it, nobody really know at all.
So
I don't know.
Since
talking about, I know what you're saying. I was. Oh, go ahead. What you say?
No. Go ahead. Because I was about to talk about something different. Go ahead.
Well, no, I would say to that. I think that you're right, and I don't think anybody ever knows 100% what actually happened before them, because like I know back in the day they used to say like people would pass down like stories, family history from word of mouth and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But we all know that when something happened and you have one nigga tell it to the next nigga who tell it to the next nigga, that story starts to change from the first nigga to the last. And that's with anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like people always have a little small little twist to the story and shit. So whatever history we experiencing now probably ain't what really happened. Or not history we experiencing, but the history that we were told probably ain't really for verbatim what happened. And then you also got to look at it like even if we was to go back in family history, a lot of niggas will get told some shit and then find out when they 30 that they was lied to when they was kids. You know what I'm saying? So you also got to look at that shit. So whatever will happen before, you probably don't fucking know. Like nobody really knows. Like, and then your grandparents told your mom a story, and then a grandparent don't even know that she was lied to. So you really don't know what the fuck came up. Like you really kind of don't. You know, only thing you can really trace is like, I guess, lineage. I guess, you know what I'm saying? I guess, but yeah, that's a good point.
This shit, so I don't know, bro. I was obsessed with that shit at one point, like just like human origin and shit. Like where do people come from, especially like where do like certain races come from? Because that shit don't really make no sense.
Yeah, and like language and all that shit.
Yeah, like that shit makes no sense to me.
You know what's crazy?
Oh yeah.
I was trying to explain it. That's interesting.
Like I was obsessed with that shit.
Oh, all right. This the way I look at and shit, like as far as where they come from, I think race isn't like not really like a single thing, because I feel like it's like a like there. I put it like this: throughout history, there's always been groups of people who have conquered other people. So it's like a group of people conquer a group of people. They mix in with those people. As soon as Group A mixes conquers Group B, now you have a new race called Group C because Group A and Group B mixed together. You see what I'm saying? Right. Then from Group C, you get a new. But then on the other side of the fucking planet, somebody conquered another nigga, and now they created a Group C. And sometime during history, now that Group C and that Group C came together and mixed. Now you got a new race called Group D. You see what I'm saying? So it's like races aren't really one thing ever. They evolve. Like I get like even if you take it, and it's always rooted in like conquering other people and then mixing in with those people, because we always know in war you kill the men and then you have children with their women so you can control that unit, that nation. You know what I'm saying? Like when you conquer the men and then you have children with their women, now those are your children. You see what I'm saying? Like now you run that shit because the woman gave birth through you. So now all these different groups of people are mixing. So if you go all the way back in time, where we are right now ain't comparable to who them niggas was like, let's say 2,000 years ago. Like it ain't even the same shit, because well, I would even go further behind that, but because there's a lot of different groups of people who've been conquered and mixed. Like I think the best example of this is even like modern day Spanish people and so-called black people, because if you think about it, the Indians, they got conquered by the Spanish, they got conquered by the fucking French. All these people came over from Europe, killed the men, had baby with the children. Now you got these people that they call Spanish, you know what I'm saying, or Hispanic, you know what I'm saying, which is really saying that they're Spain-like. They kind of Spaniard, you know what I'm saying? That's what that shit really mean. But that's a new race that was created from one group of people.
You gotta throw the Jewish in that joint too.
You can throw all that shit in there. I mean, because all these groups of people are mixed. Like if you really think about it, everybody was kind of mixed. Like if you go back in the lineage, if you go all the fucking way back,
the only reason why I wanted to say, only reason why I wanted to throw the Jewish in there, because you what you were saying and whatever, is because all these Jewish people out here, all the Jewish people we know and see today are white or whatever, and you got the black Hebrew Israelites and all them people saying that the original Jewish peoples or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So they're saying these niggas are Jewish like, basically. You know what I'm saying? What you laughing at, nigga?
Because like
I know what you're saying.
It wasn't motherfuckers before that.
Basically, they not the original Jews.
Right. It's
black folk.
I know the story and shit, but like it wasn't people before that.
People before who?
Before
what are you talking about?
Like black Israelite and shit.
And even within that, all right. So let's say, because we talk about like our African lineage and shit like that, right? So at some point, like, so everybody in Africa was just one group of people. You know what I'm saying? Because if you think about it, if we move into modern day times, there's like 100 different countries in Africa. You see what I'm saying? It's like we got Nigeria, Sudan. Nigeria Africa has a bunch of different fucking countries. So if these people are separating themselves, that means there's different languages, different cultures, different ways of living. So why, for some reason, we always say, oh, we African, but niggas in Africa, like a nigga from Sudan, don't see himself as the same as somebody from Nigeria. But us over here in America, we be like, we African. But if you really think about it, Africans don't even be like, we African. They be like, I'm Nigerian. I'm from Zimbabwe. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, it's a completely. So even when we but this is what I'm saying. This is black people in America. Like, me and Corey, me and you could be from, our lineage could be from two rival fucking tribes who hate each other's guts. You know what I'm saying? But we would have no fucking idea because we'd be like, oh, we African. But them niggas in Africa, like, it ain't like Africa is one big united loving country. You know what I'm saying? Like, them niggas had war too. Them niggas had slaves too. Them niggas had prisoners of war. The reason we became slaves is because the niggas who lost the battle became prisoner of wars and then got sold off. When you lose the war, you become property of the niggas who. It's like kind of like saying if you in war, you either die or you become a slave, and the niggas who didn't want to die became slaves, and then them niggas got sold. You know what I'm saying? Over to other tribes or to Arab niggas who came over to Africa to pick up some slaves, to the white man that came over to pick up slaves. That's just how that shit go. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit
I agree with that.
on.
I agree with that. So what you think about this? The whole notion that we sold each other off or whatever.
It's not even about selling. See, this is what I'm saying. This is the misconception that niggas is having. It's not about selling each other off. Africa has hundreds of fucking countries, which means that niggas was already not fucking with each other. It's common sense. Like if you go over to Europe, the French got into war with other niggas in Europe. Like World War II was German niggas. No, what I'm saying is that when you have boundaries in countries, you're going to naturally have conflict. That's what I'm sitting there trying to say. It was like it only makes sense that there was tribes beefing with other tribes who had niggas fucking prisoners of war. Like that's kind of what happens in war. The niggas who decided not to die, they become prisoners. They become slaves. That's how you become slave. Nobody willingly becomes a slave. You have to become a prisoner. That's what a prisoner is. That's what a prisoner is, nigga. The fuck.
But I disagree with not what you're saying, but I disagree with the fact that there are hundreds of countries or whatever. Well, there's not hundreds of countries, but it wasn't that many countries back then.
You know how old Africa, you know how old that continent. Remember, that's the motherland. So we talking about these niggas started so-called civilization. That's what we say, right? So that means that everything that everybody learned started in Africa, which means that we say that the so-called white man, whoever learned from the African, that's like, well, we got to throw the bad in too. We can't just say, oh, all the good things, all these great readers, this, but then we want to ignore that these niggas were human, the bad and evil things fucking too. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be real. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so at the end of the day, realistically speaking, if you have a bunch of countries of niggas who speak different cultures and languages, let's say in Africa, there's no white people that exist. So you don't have race to beef with niggas. And so now you beef with niggas.
Right, everybody black. Everybody black.
Difference of religion. Exactly. So that's what I'm saying is the niggas who probably was getting sold off wasn't even speaking the same language as the niggas who sold them.
Yeah.
Like we gotta remember, Africa.
Where did it fuck up at though? It's a question. Where did it fuck up?
All these niggas don't fuck with each other. Like, come on, man. Niggas be forgetting this shit.
I'm just saying, where did it fuck up at, dog? Where did it fuck up at? Where did it fuck up at?
It ain't even no point.
Because you got the.
This is what humans do. Humans beef with the humans. Like
they don't owe the next man nothing.
They got fucked up when brother. You said what? Right.
I said they don't owe the next man nothing.
Next nigga nothing.
From the same continent.
Who don't owe who nothing?
I'm talking about the next man don't owe the next.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, and I think people kind of forget that whole point. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't matter where you go in the world. Like, niggas is gonna be beefing with the niggas next to them. Like, especially if you have difference in the belief or difference in culture, especially if you have speak a different language, because communication already fucked up right there. You know what I'm saying? So if you have a different language,
but I'm just trying to figure out like where it fucked up to the point. Like,
do it matter though?
Like it was a global. Nah, dog. My question is like it was a fucking global participation, on shipping Africans out of everywhere. They're shipping Africans to the fucking. All the Americas, North, South America.
So you think the Africans who owned those African slaves had an agenda to send Africans everywhere? Like them niggas was bought and sold.
I'm just saying where
it was like I need it.
No. I'm just saying where the fuck. What the fuck? How did we fuck up so bad? Like
who was we, nigga? That's not you.
That's what I'm trying to understand. Who is we? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Exactly.
That's not you. That's not you.
Who is we?
All right, but this is my question, Corey. When you say
we ended up part as we though. but we ended up being part of.
But this is what I'm saying.
But it's not you.
Before we came to America, it wasn't a we. You see what I'm saying? We was like niggas wasn't like on the same team before we came to America.
But
niggas came from different fucking places.
And at the same
then I
time,
have
it was
another
niggas here
question, though.
before.
And then I have another question though. It's like, is it there's stories of Africans already being in the Americas way before Columbus and all that other shit. It's like,
for sure.
But niggas don't want to hear that shit, motherfucker. And I'm saying niggas, but motherfuckers don't want to hear that shit. Period.
That's what that's what I was obsessed with, like human origin, like where these people were at this point in time. Like, of course, there was a large black presence in America before Columbus, before all that shit, before the slave trade, and the whole. I remember it was one joint I seen. It was like okay, you went across the Atlantic Ocean and survived this shit living on top of a whole bunch of other niggas. Okay, super nigga, you did all that.
They talk shit. Go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. Like they allegedly the whole story to believe that a bunch of people, 300 million. I don't know what the number was. It was a large ass number. 300 million Africans came from Africa to the U.S. at that point in time. It just don't make sense logistically to send that many people here when there was already people here to enslave.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But like I say you selling tree and shit, right? It don't make sense to fucking ship a whole bunch of shit and risk losing a bunch of shit on the way here when you can just grow the shit here yourself.
I agree.
Yeah.
Right. But then we still find that particular tree over here that doesn't grow over there. You know what I'm saying? You find the particular tree that grows in Africa or whatever, it doesn't grow in the Americas or whatever. Then they found multiple shit.
But apparently it did.
Yeah, but its origin is from Africa. Even
origin or not, it was here when they arrived.
Right. When who arrived though?
When the European settlers arrived.
Exactly. That's my point.
That's why that's what
y'all should look up. There was actually some black people who aren't even slaves, like were never even slaves though, like were free the whole time. You know what I'm saying? You should look it up. So it's funny, but it's funny they don't tell you that either. You know what I'm saying? They want you to believe that we were all slaves. You know what I'm saying? And the funny thing about it is that this niggas walking around right now who black and have no slave and they have no connection to slavery. But even these black people used to own slaves too. Because I think even the concept of slavery, I think even back then it was more of that what they call it, indentured servitude and shit. But that indentured servitude was pretty much like a nigga owned you any fucking way because you were just paying to have a place to. You was basically working just to have a place to stay. You know what I'm saying? But if you had money, you could fucking do like money still talked back then the same way you do now. Like nigga, if you had bread, if you was black, you could own slaves. Be a free fucking man. But there's niggas out here walking around right now who have no descendancy to slavery at all, but think they do
I don't know
because they was taught that shit. You know what I'm saying? Don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Probably got land in their name.
Marcus, you know about that?
Don't know. You know
that friendship treaty. That friendship treaty. Morocco.
You talking about the Moors?
Yeah, the Moors.
Yeah.
Their friendship treaty. It was already black Muslims over this joint.
No, it's crazy. I was reading
listening to them black Israelites. I know you do.
What's that station?
Full blown. I know you do.
Columbia Station? Columbia Heights?
But it's crazy. I was reading something the other day. It was saying like like we go through life and like we like everybody has like a language, right? And that language is geographically or It's like it's different in every part of the world, right? But the language is made up of words, right? And the words are made up of letters or whatever you use to make up that word, or which makes passages, which makes phrases, and you use those to build a language and you speak, right? And we all know that words can cast spells. So like in order to like make a word, you have to spell it. There's a spelling for that word. So when you like use your words sometimes in the way that you use them, you literally cast spells like without even like you knowing it. Like you can.
That was some deep shit.
Read the book of Thoth.
It's like you don't even really know that you're like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, but like because you're so used to doing it, it's like you always like, even like when you know somebody's pressure points, right? Like if you're in an argument with somebody, you know their weak points. It's like, all right, I'm gonna say this right now, and it's, you know what I'm saying, you say it, and you know that it's gonna be some sort of like you know the way that you said it and why you said it. You said it that way, and it's like you're essentially like casting like negative ass spells.
That's real shit though. If you read up on the Egyptians, that's why their fucking language was so fucking stupid to us anyways. That's why their language is so fucking stupid to us anyway. Nowadays anyway. Like they had a whole like there was a whole fucking there had to be a fucking ceremony, and as far as creating a whole word, you had to, the way they spoke shit, dog. It's hard to explain it, but it's like when they made a word anyway, it's like it had to have some type of anyway, like
So let it be written, so that it be done.
exactly, some stupid shit, dog. We're talking about people that that have pyramids that stand till this day, and we have buildings that crumble off of nothing. We got asbestos and all types of shit in our buildings or whatever. We're talking about people that have buildings that were built there for a reason to stand the test of time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling you, like, if you actually research their language and everything, they read the book of Thoth. The book of Thoth. You can get it for free on your iPhone or whatever, in iBooks or whatever the fuck is for free. It actually explains how they fucking made words and what the fuck happened before time and shit or whatever the fuck.
Thoth was like he was president like in multiple times in history.
He was a nigga. He was that nigga. Yeah, he was that nigga. Thoth. He was supposedly that nigga that came right after I'm gonna say right after, but around that time of supposed Atlantis.
Yeah, he lived in Atlantis though, so
exactly. He supposedly came from there, so yeah. Read the book of Thoth. It's free. It's free. Read that shit.
Hermes.
It's dope.
Yeah,
then he's supposed to came back as Hermes.
Yeah, that shit is dope.
I can't say it. Trismegistus. I can't say that during, but yeah, Hermes.
That's the Kabbalion.
Read that shit. You might see some shit.
Yeah, the Kabbalion.
The Bible. That's all I'm
that book changed my life. That book straight up changed my life. And that shit is real, man. But you gotta really like try to internalize that shit, like when you reading it, and then you gotta act it out. You can't just read it and just have the information in your head. You gotta like live that shit. And once you live it, you start to see everything that it says, like in your reality in the book and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is crazy, but it's real.
Alchemy and stuff like that.
It's like the Bible.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and it's true because the aspect of alchemy is true. When I was really like really deep into the book, like I used to literally try to be consciously aware of the polarity that's being expressed at any given moment. and I used to act that shit out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like somebody would say something to me, even somebody said something negative to me, I would think in my mind like, all right, positive polarity of this. You know what I'm saying? Then say some positive shit out my mouth and just kill the whole conflict. You know what I'm saying?
The whole vibe.
That's when I was That's when I was deep into that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I would go outside and I would intentionally because I used to work at Deer Park at this time. So I would just intentionally start conversations with people just to exercise it. You know what I'm saying? Just to see what they would say to me and how I would respond. Like I was literally training myself. So, but that shit is deep. It really does work. Like that shit has a lot of like truth to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was saying about the Egyptian language and shit. It's like that's like Marcus was saying, like they had like when they came up with the language or whatever the fuck, dog, that shit meant some shit and it would
but even so what do you think about this though? So I think that language might actually make us dumber, you know what I'm saying? Because I think language actually dumbs us down. Because think about it from this perspective, right? Do you know how like intelligent we would be without words? Because like they even say that like majority of your communication is through body language anyway. Through words you can lie. You can't lie through your energy, but you can lie through words. You see what I'm saying? So through language, that's where lies come from. If we didn't talk and we just expressed ourselves, you know what I'm saying? Like if we didn't actually vocalize how we felt, you couldn't lie to somebody. You would have the sensitivity and awareness because you don't have the lies to filter through. You don't have the words to filter through. It would just be the energy that they're expressing because we're kind of trained to, communicate through words. We get caught up in what somebody's saying rather than, the energy that they're projecting. You see what I mean? So I think that without language, we would actually be a lot smarter. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, because language opens up the space for lies. Energy doesn't lie. You know what I'm saying? But words do. Or man does. You know what I mean?
I agree. I agree 100%. That's why I'm talking about the Egyptians. I agree 100% because mainstream society will tell you that slaves built these pyramids or whatever. I don't know how slaves built these pyramids in the goddamn sand and fucking sandals. Fucking sandals, worse than what we have now, dog. Pulling these 100-ton blocks and shit in fucking sandals.
So, dude, let me ask you something. Have just amongst us four, like, has there ever been a time in your life, previously or even right now, where you thought that for whatever reason you were like special? And when I mean that, I'm saying like you felt as though you have like you were like you it's like you feel you don't know your purpose, but you can feel it. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm specifically supposed to do this, but I just don't know what
about you?
What it is. You just don't know what it is.
Have you ever felt that?
I do. I did. And I would say more so like when I was younger, more so now. But I think now it's like, I don't know, like my curiosity now wishes that I could like tap into what it is I was exactly like feeling at that point in time. But I have had those thoughts before. And I don't know, it's just weird because it's like, I don't know. You feel like you have a purpose, but then like sometimes you may go through things and it's just like, damn. Or you may have a thought like, yo, I feel like I should be doing this. Like you feel like you're like closer to like divinity, and it's just like I'm special. Like there's something specially planned for me type shit. I don't know.
Do you think do you think that people are like, do you think that's a real thing, or do you think people who feel that way are just delusional?
Define delusional. Like what?
I mean, like, do you think they're just caught up in their own, what they call it, delusions of grandeur or whatever. Like they thinking like like what I'm saying, or like do you think that like that's an actual real thing that like that some people are special, or do you think that people who think they're special are just really more caught up in their ego?
I think it could be a little bit of both. Absolutely. Yeah, I could see where someone who has had success or fame, and it gets to the point where like they're not there. It's not more so like their intuition, but it's more like them versus as a kid. For me, just feeling, I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know. I was seeing if you guys ever had like a thought like that, like I know, like I'm specifically supposed to do something. I'm special in that way. I just don't know what the fuck it is.
I'm gonna piggyback off that. I understand what he's saying. Me, I love movies and shit, and I would like to say it's off some Terminator type shit, where I don't think it's us per se, but I think it's like we're raising the young John Connors out this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? To do something, to run a revolution or whatever, and do something great. I don't think it's us per se, but I think that we're raising revolutionists out this joint. I mean, we see what's going on out here in these streets or whatever. We got the protests and all that other shit, whatever. But I think I honestly think that we're raising a generation, because I mean, our parents or whatever were in the civil rights and grew up with the civil rights movements and all that other shit, and their grandparents and dealt with before that not even just Jim Crow, and before that slavery and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? I think we're raising a young John Connors out this joint. I don't think it's us per se.
But like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, Jalen and Taylor come to me, and they say, you know what I'm saying, even amongst, let's say, since everything has happened in 2020, my kids, they don't really understand, or like I don't even think that they really even care to want to know what's really going on. And like I would say it's the way that, and you know what I'm saying, and I'm me being the parent, the way that I'm raising them, I'm not raising them to watch the news every single day and sit there.
What's up for white people?
You know what I'm saying? And take in constantly what the media's hidden agenda may or may not be. And
I'm the same way.
They're detached from that. So like, even like my mom, she was like, so when are you gonna like talk to them about what's going on? And I'm like, and I had to have a conversation with her. I'm like me, like you know what I'm saying? It's like dragging somebody into something that they have. You know what I'm saying? It's like pulling them out of their like their.
But that's my point though. That's my point though. Because y'all already got kids that's already, like, I got a baby boy. You know, he don't know. He definitely don't know what the fuck is going on. You know what I'm saying? He just know me and my dukes. You know what I'm saying? Whoever is he, but they see this shit and you got y'all who already have kids of age or whatever, and y'all just raising them out of love. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm saying, like, they're the John Connors of this shit. Like, you got people that's being raised out of hate and just saying, fuck niggas, we don't fuck with black people, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But y'all just
raising. I don't be seeing them.
Do y'all kids say anything about race now?
My son, actually, you know what? My son, because he about to be in middle school, but our son's the same age, so I'm sure it's the same shit. He be every now and then he'll be like, "Oh man, the way white people used to treat black people was really messed up," or he'll say something like, "Oh, the way men used to treat women was really messed up." Like he used to say shit like that. So I'm like, okay, I mean, obviously that's what they teaching them in school, you know.
That's my point. They're not witnessing that shit. They don't see that shit, but they're seeing their parents like
So let me ask you this. So do you think is it our responsibility to bring up old, negative, not having anything to do with moving forward, like to bring to
answer that question?
When you say negative,
I'm gonna be very transparent right here. Like I was one of those kids when I was growing up. My parents taught me at a very young age that you are a young black male, so everything is against you. Nobody likes you. They didn't even say it literally like that, but they basically were saying like, all the odds are stacked against you. The police are out to get you. So, I always grew up in my mind. So when I was like in middle school, growing up, elementary school, I was calling everybody racist. I used to call my teachers racist. Like if anytime if I come to a table and there's only one black kid, I'd be like, y'all niggas racist. So I was like looking for the racism at all times, you know what I'm saying? And the reason why I had that frame of thinking is because I was taught that everybody is out to get me as a black person. You know what I'm saying? So as I got older, I still had conflicts. I would go into the workplace. I would already have that defense, already up because I'm in the workplace. I'm a black male. They're gonna hate on me. When me and Randall used to work together, I used to be for doing all the white people at fucking work. You know what I'm saying? Because that was my mentality. Our new manager came in. He was a fucking cop. I didn't even talk to that nigga. I didn't introduce myself to him. I didn't say shit. So I want y'all to understand that I was all the way, you know what I'm saying, on the pro-black shit, full-fledged. I was raised to be a pro-black nigga at a young age. So I see the mindset. I have a clear understanding of the mindset. Now that I'm older, I realize that shit ain't do nothing for me. All it had me was a super defensive ass nigga. Everybody out to get me. A nigga might say some simple shit, may not mean no harm, but because I'm thinking it's a white guy, I take it a little bit more personal. I'm a little more sensitive because a white dude said it. You see what I'm saying? It's like that type of shit. And I get older and I realize that shit ain't do nothing for me at all.
That's my whole point.
It gave me was all it did was give me this mindset of feeling like my blackness was a burden on everybody around me, and my blackness created limitations for me. I actually grew up thinking being a black man limited me. There was a fucking ceiling over my head, and there was nothing I could do to get out of that. And then I see that rhetoric being spewed every single day. You know what I'm saying? So I see it. I see myself in all these niggas. You know what I'm saying? Black Lives Matter. I see that. That's why I be like, young, I see how I used to be. I'm like, young, that is me 10 years ago, full-fledged. You know what I'm saying? I probably would have been out there 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
That's my whole point, though.
I was trained to be like that. My parents, and not to cut it short, and not to give too much information, but both of my parents, they wasn't out here, living the legal life. We'll just leave it right there. Neither one of them. You know what I'm saying? So of course niggas who ain't out here, I'm saying, fucking abiding by the law, what you think their mentality gonna be? You know what I'm saying? What do you think they gonna teach their kid? Think about it. You know what I'm saying? It makes all the fucking sense in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
That's my whole point.
That's why I asked that question. I was like, because it's tough because it's like on one hand, like you don't want you have history, but like the past is the past, and like
can we move on?
Like you don't want to be 1,000 years from now still talking about some 400 years, 300 years slave, you know what I'm saying? Like, like
700 years later, we slaves. Yeah.
It's just like, but on one hand, I feel that way, but on another hand, it's like part of me is like, all right, like, but you do have to have some sort of history.
Exactly.
I don't know. It's like a catch-22. You don't want to
gotta know your history to know your future.
You want them to know the history, but you also don't want them to bring that negativity from that history into their present.
Mm-hmm.
That's essentially what Marcus was just saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly.
That's why. That's the only reason why I don't teach that shit to my kids, because I know what the mindset that put me. I was wasting energy looking for the racism. You know what I'm saying? I was looking for. I was ready. I was cocked and loaded. You know what I'm saying? Like for the racism. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and that shit ain't do nothing to me. That shit, I probably could have had good fucking relationships. I probably could have had good connections with motherfuckers, but I approached the scene defensively off the break, because that's how I was bred to think. You know what I'm saying? So I get older, you realize, you know, God, you know what? I used to be in my feelings too much. That was my fucking problem, man. And now I realize that I got, you know what I'm saying? I understand now. You grow, and then you fucking grow. You know what I'm saying? And all this shit that they be putting us on television is just to put you in your feelings. That's all the fuck they want, because there ain't no progression in feelings. None. Zero. Zilch. You know what I'm saying? So niggas gotta look at, put things in perspective. That's the only reason why they feed us this shit. You know what I'm saying? Only reason why.
I definitely agree. I agree. My boy ain't that old yet.
Is this my first? Have I done overtime before?
Yep.
When?
This is your first overtime.
Oh, it is? Oh, okay.
Yeah, this your first.
This first time, right? This is first one. I think it's mainly the three of us, and then we have like a special guest every week.
Well, you guys.
Alex be hanging around sometimes.
We had Matt come in a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, Matt was in here.
Yeah.
We got Matt. Matt got to make an appearance every week.
Oh,
we need Matt for story times, young. Like if we having stories, we gotta get Matt up in this joint, man. Like that just be like that should be great.
Mm-hmm. No, that's real talk though. What y'all saying? That's real talk.
What's y'all favorite professors? Like was there like one teacher or staff member at the school that just like stood out? You just never forget. You know what I'm saying?
OT.
OT definitely. He probably number one for me. OT, and then June Lee, the Asian dude. I used to fuck with June Lee because he showed me that movie Fahrenheit 9/11. So I always fuck with June Lee because of that shit.
Our freshman orientation teacher, the nigga had dreads. He used to talk about straight conspiracy theories.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
You want the dude that looked like Will Smith?
Now he had dreads. He had a big gap. He had a heavy lisp.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Like he'd be meditating. He'd let you meditate and shit in class. Yeah.
I don't know. I never had.
About all the conspiracy theories.
He let you meditate in class. He let you go to sleep.
I'm like, yo, you meditate for 15 minutes. Go ahead, let's go.
Yeah. He was like, oh, y'all want to do reports? He would give everybody a conspiracy theory. I forgot.
Dr. Babs. You got Dr. Babs.
Oh, yeah. I talked about her breathing.
Yeah. Just leave it there.
My teacher I remember was my Spanish teacher. That was my favorite teacher. Spanish teacher. Nick Bazal or some shit like that. Whatever the fuck. He was cool. I forgot his motherfucking name. He's from New York though. He was dope as shit. Brought niggas out to fucking what the fucking Uruguay or some shit like that. Whatever the fuck. I ain't go. Too much money.
I remember freshman year, first class I had English. Walking to the classroom, first class, freshman year, first day of school. This nigga couldn't even speak English. You know what I'm saying? This nigga, I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, this is my first day of college, and I got an English teacher I don't understand what the fuck he said. And I sat in the front of the classroom because,
What was the African that taught the documentary about communications? The African nigga. You call
the camera dude, right? He always say white balance. The dude always tell us.
Please white balance your cameras. Please white balance your cameras.
Yeah, him. Yeah, and then he used to talk about niggas having to clap and shit like that in class. I'm like, this nigga's wild. And he used to always talk about his wife. He used to talk about how it's like his wife got a fat ass all the time and shit. Like, this nigga was wild, dog.
She taught math in the same jump.
Ain't none of you had
what was his name?
None of you had Dr. Fisher.
But at the same time, he was always trying to sell his book too.
No, yeah.
Like the last 5 minutes, he was like, "Please buy my book." I'm like, "What?"
Buy my book. John never had Dr. Fisher for English.
Nah.
White class. Just my dog.
Hey, remember health teacher freshman year? The health teacher.
Yeah, we had him.
That nigga was wild.
Yeah,
he was talking about. Oh man, he said
the bald head dude.
Yeah.
He said one day in class.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember this, round. This nigga said some shit. I forgot exactly what he said word for word, but he was like implying, like, when you run a train on a girl, like, you know what I'm saying? Like in front of the whole class, like he was saying like niggas was supposed to, like everybody did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you cannot say shit like that no more. Man. That was a different day and age, dog.
The easiest grade I got.
He used to put his glasses on top of his head and close his eyes.
That was the easiest grade. Matter of fact, I think y'all had that class. I think Randall told me about that nigga. I was like, yeah, let me go ahead and sign up, dog. Let me get this easy age. Let me get this easy.
You was in that class too?
Yeah, dog. I had that in the gymnasium. In the gymnasium.
In the small gym, yeah. Oh, no, actually in the big gym, yeah.
The big gym. Yeah, the big gym. Yep, I had that jump.
I don't think I ever had another class in that gym ever since freshman year. Did they stop doing that shit?
Mm-hmm. That's the only class I had in there.
Did I
only hold health in there?
Classes with Indian, y'all?
No. Nope.
What was your major?
Music.
Oh yeah, so we probably didn't because all of us was communications.
But still, we ain't had no English, no nothing.
I was law. Me and Randall had that one night we was watching Cops. I was like, yeah, dog. I'm changing my motherfucking. I'm changing my shit up to law, dog. I'm changing my shit. We was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. I want to tackle niggas. This is my shit. This is what I want to do. Well, fuck niggas up. This is my shit. I'm doing law. Mm-hmm. Criminal justice. I'm doing criminal justice, dog.
Now what you doing?
Shit, I'm working for a goddamn insurance company.
Ain't nobody doing that shit they doing.
I'm working for goddamn Casa Permanente.
That's why I think school is like one of the biggest scams.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Like they send like imaginary money to these universities, and they they make you owe that shit on crazy interest and shit.
Oh yeah, put that shit up. Put that shit up. Put the house, the car, and the kids up on that motherfucker. Put them up. Put them up.
Yo, y'all remember how? You remember how, like, when we first got like Black Planet, and remember how, like, I feel like they were like at that point in time they were preparing us. Like,
nigga, we was the first niggas on MySpace and Facebook and shit.
Black Planet and like MySpace was like the test run for the shit that like Twitter and like Instagram.
Yeah. Remember, you had to have a college account to get on them joints.
But MySpace, you had to like actually build like a website. Remember, like the whole little encryption code and shit.
Like you were technically a web designer.
Yeah, you had to embed shit to like music and like slideshows and shit on your joint.
Let me embed that joint.
You essentially were a computer programmer.
Oh yeah.
Let me put some sparkles on my shit. Let me put some sparkles on that shit. Yeah, Doc, I remember that shit. I remember that shit.
Wow.
We thought we were doing some shit out there. I was doing some shit out there. And let me go ahead and I gotta get this song on this joint.
Everybody had the Bone on their page. Everybody had the Bone Thugs and Harmony on their page, or the skulls in the background and shit.
Something. I'm gonna put this song on my jump.
And they had that AIM shit too. Remember AIM?
Yeah. That instant messaging.
That shit kind of prepared us for this shit now too.
Hell yeah.
The original. Ain't nobody fucking with AOL and them niggas no more. Well, there's a couple niggas.
Hey, you remember how much shit changed? Like, remember how long it would take to download a song off like Napster or some shit like that? Like, you'll be sitting by your computer for 25, 30 minutes for one fucking MP3. You know what I'm saying? And be siced once you get that one song. You know what I'm saying? That shit is crazy.
And now we're for that porno.
And you hear that little dial-up and the little dial-up shit going on and all that. Like, that's technology came in.
At 5G.
Y'all talking about LimeWire?
Yeah,
nah, you
LimeWire,
talking about Napster. LimeWire was
all day to download one damn song, and once you got that one song,
you get everything.
Nice. Like that
LimeWire was quick.
Age of the day. We got better.
Remember Cosba?
Cosba. I don't know if I
They had that joint.
Yeah.
What was another joint? Bubble or some shit like that. I forget the name of the joint.
Cosmo was close.
Yeah, everything. They had everything.
Wasn't Cosmo like close? I think Cosmo was like Carmelu, like sister side.
Is it?
Yeah.
Hold on.
No, it was something that Kaza or something that started with a K.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start with the K. I remember that joint. I was on all them joints. I was stealing all types of shit. Getting movies and nigga, we was watching movies in the fucking villa off that joint. I want to say it was off of Bubble or LimeWire or some shit. I had that motherfucking Kill Bill, all that shit in that joint. Oh, don't record that. I wasn't stealing shit. We was watching all types of shit though. In that joint. Kaza, Bubble, motherfucking LimeWire. I was mad as shit when they cut that LimeWire shit. I was like, damn, where am I gonna steal shit from? I can't get no ringers. I can't get my Nextel ringers. Nothing. What's going on?
Hey,
it's crazy what that shit led to.
Right.
Like that ain't that kind of what led to this whole streaming era now? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
niggas went to
it's more about
niggas went to jail back then.
Yeah, they was locking niggas out.
A different time.
Damn, that bootleg man was gold back then, dog. Ain't no bootleg man now. That bootleg man was gold back then. You get every.
You talking the nigga in the movie? You talking the movie theater nigga?
Nah, yeah, I'm talking about you can walk up to the metro. You can go to the metro. You can go into the metro and shit, and riding out to wherever the fuck you riding to. Is somebody out there with CDs talking about, I got this new movie. I got this new joint. I got a new Independence Day or whatever the fuck. Well, Independence Day a little far back, but I got this new joint.
It was called Kazaa.
Kazaa, that was a joint. Yeah, Kazaa. That was a joint.
Yeah, I remember that one. What'd you say the first time?
Cosba.
That's why I was like, huh? Kazaa. I remember Kazaa now. Now that's yeah.
I knew it was something that started with a K. Kazaa. Yeah.
Hey, I'm about to get off, but real quick, when's the NBA draft? Because ain't the NBA draft supposed to be like? Ain't it usually like this week, like June 20 something? Like, are they gonna have one? When is the NBA draft supposed to be?
I thought it was the same day. Hold on, wait.
No.
Like, are they still having it? Because I ain't been hearing shit about it.
Don't get me lying. I'm just hoping the NFL have a season.
Hey, real quick. Why all these states are saying like it's been like $5,000 positive like tests jumping up like day to day? 3,000 positive tests day to day. I thought it took like 5 days to get your test back.
Well, I don't know how long it takes to get the test back, but they just now starting to test niggas that ain't had tests. So, of course, the number's going to jump up.
What type of logic did that make?
Yeah.
Hey, Marcus, they said
Perfect logic.
What?
Oh, October 16th? Okay. That's crazy. NBA draft is going to October 16th. That is wild.
Birthday.
So when is the next NBA season supposed to start?
Week.
2022.
Actually, that shit just broke. Like,
But
they just.
so hold on. So when is it? So when this after this whole NBA shit go over, when does the next season start? Because if these niggas, when is the playoffs supposed to be like fucking like
2022
September or some shit like that?
Hold on.
This shit is weird, man. This whole shit is weird. I don't know how they're gonna do that.
They said it's 2022, dog. I'm trying to tell you. Look at him. Look at Keys. Look at him. 2022. Go ahead. You reading right? 2022, dog.
What the fuck?
Nah, but as far as that coronavirus shit, I think it's just they just trying to. I mean, I ain't gonna say they trying to about. They probably preparing us for a second wave.
Yeah.
But if we get a second wave, then that shit gonna affect. Like I don't know how they gonna do schools, man. Like that whole school situation gonna be all fucked up.
And don't think of it as a second wave.
I don't even know how they gonna do that.
Don't think of it as a second wave. That shit was already here, dog. That shit been here. It's been here.
I don't mean like that. I'm talking about as far as like because they're starting to lift up restrictions, and then they probably gonna have to shut shit back down again.
Mm-hmm. Because they're getting tested out here. That's why my man Trump don't want to test y'all niggas. God damn it.
You gonna take that vaccine?
God damn it. He don't want to test y'all niggas. You know this shit gonna go up.
You gonna take that vaccine, Corey?
Fuck no. I don't even take the fucking flu vaccine. I wish the fuck I would take some goddamn coronavirus shit.
The second wave has already started. The part of the second wave was the fact that they were showing like
just not enough tests.
Better like shit like the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 is part of the second wave. That's how it starts.
I'm saying like how are they proving that? I mean, people just like had to go ahead to do all these restaurants and beaches and shit like that. So how is it like Texas and Florida are showing these record numbers in these short amount of times? You got record day numbers, not you know what I mean? I didn't know you had like a day turnaround for results.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they just don't. I'm pretty sure, like, if you did a cross data analysis, that you could with like different networks, you could find so many different gaps in between each network and the numbers that they're giving you. What I'm trying to tell you is, this shit has already started. Like the fact, it's like they wanted you to like they release everybody back out because the government knows they can't just keep everybody inside and expect resources to continue to be at normalcy. So they have us go back out to the economy, replenish the economy for about 2-3 months. You know what I'm saying? Then they want to drop that bitch back down, and it's just like.
I wish we talked about this shit earlier, but I think we got to wrap up. I wish we would talk about this shit earlier, especially this Fauci shit and vaccine shit. But we would do it around the corner. Thanks for tuning in to Overtime. We're gonna get with y'all next time. See y'all next week.
Ciao.